Welcome back to Aths TV. Matt Lynch, Cam Luke, and of course, Event 4 of the Coles Summer Super Series this weekend, the Queensland Track Classic. Before we get into the high jump and the women's 200, which are two of the huge events of the weekend, it is, of course, your hometown. You're the unofficial mayor, mate. You must be excited.
Yeah, I've been busy trying to build this up, so finally it's going to happen this weekend, and hopefully the weather gods pray all right. It looks a bit cloudy, but cloudy Queensland, still 35 degrees.
And of course, 6:20 on KO Sports is when it all starts live, so you will not miss a beat. 7:20 in the eastern part of the country, Melbourne and Sydney. But let's start with the high jump because, of course, Brandon Stark, what a year he had in 2018. A Commonwealth Games gold medal, Diamond League final winner, Continental Cup silver medal, Australian record. It was a huge year, and now he's going to be going against a really deep international field come this Saturday night. Yeah,
so that's the footage there, right, of his Australian record. Running over to high-five his coach, give him a big hug. That was actually the meet organiser, the little bloke in the yellow polo that intercepted that hug. And obviously he's pretty stoked because he's had a 2:36 at his comp. And what just an awesome season, starting in April and finishing in September. So April with the Com Games, September with the Continental Cup. Just to hold that form for so long, it's tough to do.
It is, and now he's going to have to see how he goes into it this year. Just talk about the depth of it, because now until obviously the World Championship later in the year is always hard for any athlete to hold their form. But for a guy who now has added pressure of being one of the best in the world, that just adds that little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but talking to Starkey, he loves it. Yeah. He's a great guy, and he's actually probably got one of the longest run-ups in world athletics. I know he actually had to shorten it for a few of those comps, and I don't know, maybe it worked out. But winning that Diamond League, that's $50,000, and in athletics, that is a lot of money to take out, and that's effectively without any world meet. Com Games only has the Commonwealth Games countries in it. The Diamond League was the World Championship, so effectively he was the World Championship for that year.
You're the man that runs this particular competition, and you deal with all the international athletes who are coming in, and there are 230 jumpers left, right and centre in this particular unique meet, which we'll talk about in a moment. So tell us a little bit about some of these guys who are Olympians or have been involved in major international finals in the past.
Yeah, so we've got a big contingent of South Koreans. They've brought some 4x1s and some sprinters, but they do have a 2.30 fella, Woo Sang-hyuk. He's out here having a competition. And Niraj Randwana, who actually trains with Starkey out in Sydney, and there's a few other guys. They're all 230-metre jumpers, and we're going to see Oscar Myers, a young fella, second over at the Youth Olympics. I think he added 7 centimetres to his PB in that competition. He was actually coached by Nick Boych, a Com Games representative. Unfortunately, not in that competition. They're nearly going to have the coach and the athlete in the same comp. Nick's got a bit of a niggle at the moment, but that would have been fantastic. And Oscar's the son of Monique Myers, who won a gold medal in 1990 Com Games 4x1, so it's a bit of pedigree there. Obviously, it's going to be an awesome field. Young fella, he's a local as well, and he could do anything.
And it's a unique standalone high jump competition as well, isn't it? Tell
it's fantastic. Especially that comp over in Germany. It almost looks like it was on a tennis court, but that's the kind of thing with those events, especially with high jump, where you just literally put a mat, put some tartan down, roll out, and it's awesome.
All right, from the men's high jump to the women's 200 metres, because this is another deep race, of course, as we head into the half lapper for the women over this weekend. Where should we look?
Well, obviously, if Zoe Hobbs is out in the middle of the field, this was the ACT champs earlier this year, and running super fast. I think 23:19 when she stopped the clock, and that's her just in the centre of the field running brilliantly. On the outside, Nana Owusu-Afriyie getting huge PB, dropping almost, I think, 0.7 down to 23:28. Sorry, that was her flashing home on the outside. And the rest of the field, they're all in that 23 mid to high times, and hopefully they can push themselves, feature in the 100. That's a little bit of a warm-up for the 200, come back and put on a show.
And we'll see Riley Day for the first time this summer?
That's exactly right. So she's run a 100 at a pre-meet earlier this year against Sally Pearson, which is not a bad one when you just go to a local comp, but she'll be out there for her first 200 of the season as well.
Deep 100 metres, as we spoke about with Jack Hale, of course, Luke Matthews over the 1500 who joined us in the studio, the high jump, the women's 200. What are you most looking forward to on Saturday night, which is pretty almost like choosing your favourite child, to be honest. Well, which one are you most looking forward to?
Look, if you're thinking about watching the live stream, watch it. But if you're in Brisbane, come down.
Get there.
There's so much going on. We've even got Catherine Mitchell's out there throwing in the jab. She was superstar last year. 3 of the best 5 throws in the world. Had the world's longest throw by a metre, and this is her first comp for a while too. So I think it's gonna be awesome.
6:20 on KO. It all kicks off live. 7:20 in the Eastern States. It's going to be a huge one. The Coles Summer Super Series, event number 4, the Queensland Track Classic. This is Aths TV.